Hello everybody, here's a French bull. Hope you're doing good. I wasn't able to do a live stream yesterday. I'm going to do an update on Bitcoin this morning. Recording it, and I will upload it as quick as possible. So, context first. As always, we'll start with the high term frame and we'll go a bit deeper in the lower time frame. Start with mostly Elliott wave and we'll look at a few other data. So the count didn't change on this time frame. Well, it didn't change. We can consider several things. We have the so this potential WXY, where we are looking at an ABC here finishing, or finished. Remain to be seen. If it is finished, so you see this is the same chart here. Looking at this final fifth wave, as you already may know, we reached quite the maximum extension we expect here in orange 0.618, 161.8. Now the sub count here for this 5, we have a potential completed count. Also, it is possible that we are still into wave 3, or that we only made wave 3 as a low from last weekend, in fact. And we are currently into a wave 4. If that's the case, we can pull a fib retracement tool from the top of wave 2 to the bottom of wave 4, of wave 3. And we have here the standard target we would expect. Just gonna hide that fib. Okay. So here on linear, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clone it because there is no right or wrong in Bitcoin using fib in log or linear. Sometimes it works better in linear, sometime in log. While for the fib extension tool on a big downside move, we usually look at like this blue here with a log scale mode on, because otherwise it gives you a senseless target. But here for a retrace, I'm staying in between, so I'm gonna add 2 of them just to have an ID. So we already retraced more than the 236, so I'm gonna deactivate them. And here you can see the preferred target 404 is between the 236 up to the 50%. Can go a bit above, the only invalidation being wave 1, but if we reach there, I mean, it doesn't make sense to look at it as a wave 4. In fact, you can see that just above the 50% we have the previous low, if I can do a horizontal line. So really, if we start to go above the 50%, it would not make sense at all. So we are looking for a potential retrace up in this ID, knowing that, again, it's possible that this wave 5 is already finished here. In that case, we might be already in a wave 1 of some kind. Doesn't mean we can range for sub wave 2, etc., or range longer. Well, yeah, just let's start with that. Just to know where we could see potentially resistance in case we continue to move up here. Because I'm gonna talk about the lower time frame in a bit. for now, this high is a lower high than this one, so until this high is taken, this move could still be corrective of this move down, which means we could still be going lower here. And in the sense of this potential wave 4 here, while we could still be in like an A inside the B currently, retrace lower, wherever it is, as long as we made a higher low, and go then for retrace this area. So yeah, for me right now, this high is pretty important in terms of Elliott wave structure locally. If we were to take it, I will believe we will continue to move up. So you see, we have the fib level on logarithmic here, but I will look at the 23,000, most likely at least. Reaching that level, it will be likely that we take that high, make a market structure change. It will be the minimum. I will see, and potentially a swing follow pattern of it before continuing down. Or it could continue higher toward 24,700. Okay, yeah, let me maybe reset the zoom on 100% so it's more readable for you. So yeah, here's the ID for that count. We have two main possibilities. Either wave 5 is in already, or it's still looking for a fifth wave. So here, if we are indeed in wave 4 and going for a lower low, as a minimum target for wave 5 here, this yellow one, is just to make a lower low compared to the wave 4. So it doesn't have necessarily to go much lower, especially knowing that we already reached maximum extension we expect for this orange wave 5. But at the extreme of a count, I mean the extreme at macro reversal, so either a fifth wave at the high or at the low, it's not uncommon for Bitcoin to overshoot the maximal target we expect for a wave 5. So even if we were to go down to 14k, it will still be valid. Now you may remember that I said this cluster is really important to me. Previous consolidation, the consolidation prior to the break of the previous all-time high. So the consolidation between 16 and 20k in 2020. Because if we lose this area, well, for me this count would become less sensible. The only true invalidation for that Elliott wave count for the wave 4 is the top of wave 1. A wave 4 cannot overlap wave 1. So the true invalidation remain a bit below 14,000 at 13,900 about. But the closer we come to it, the less sensible it looks. Now we have still alternatives that we can keep in mind. First of all, instead of having a top of wave 3 in this area and here playing a WXY, we may have a top of wave 3 here, like a 1, 2, 3 up here, and we'll still be in a wave 4. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't change much. We'll still be looking at a potential ABC here. But alternatively, again, let me hide this WXY scenario. We could also be looking at this to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may remember I talked about it several times. And this move correcting the whole wave up here, instead of just correcting the wave 2, that is similar length, but wave 4 correct is a correction of wave 3, when here, if we finish 5 waves, we will be correcting the 5 waves entirely. And so, yeah, maybe we are on a 1 and a sub 2. A sub 2, in that case, could retrace much lower. What would be the count that remain to be seen? Could be still an ABC here. It could still finish at, yes, at 14k. In that case, it could overlap wave 1, previous wave 1 of lesser degree, because we will be in 1, 2, so this will not be an invalidation. Now, looking at the structure here, you see I have the 161.8 here in blue. Why? Because it is the maximum target we expect for wave C, and at the same time it's a minimum target we expect for wave 3. So this could, if we do reach this, will be in between this potentially being an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, which means maybe a bounce still and a fifth to come, 9k. And if we make 5 waves like this, then that will be the first leg of a correction. So it still could allow us a nice bounce. Doesn't say it will retrace up to 30k, but it will be possible and still go for wave season. So yeah, I think I talked about that several times. We have a very important support. In case we do lose our current area, we have in between at 14k, and we have a very important one at 9k, and obviously the 3k low. So potentially we could be looking at a correction coming to 9k, bounce, and coming back, consolidation into this previous range. Losing 3k will be really bad for the ecosystem. But for now, we are still at support. There is still a possibility that we go up from here and we start going to a new all-time high. Maybe harder. Let me pause this once again. Okay, find it. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. I had a chat because I guess I talked about it last week. And so yeah, potentially here we'll be looking at a 1, 2, 3. Here you see in green and in red will be in between a potential ABC and a 1, 2, 3. For 5 potentially. In that case, I would expect support to be found at the confluence of golden pocket and the POC of this range. And yes, and potentially ABC coming back down. That will be still a serious down. That's why I think it's important we remain in that range. I could still see a lower low reaching 14,500 or about. Will be at the extreme. In that case, if we see a quick recovery, I mean, it's still possible. It's still possible we recover from it and go beyond it and go toward all-time high again. But yeah, that would be a bit too much, I believe, and it will increase the probability that we continue down at some point. And if we are playing the red scenario here, here's wave R. I made a suggestion with wave A, B, C, but it's unlikely to play that clearly. It would probably take years to play out. It could extend a lot. So it's just to have an idea. So yeah, that's for the macro count. Didn't change much. We may still be in a 1, 2, 3, 4 and going for the 5th. We might be in a 1, 2 of higher degree and going for a 3. This count here that is in green can seem a bit crazy in the sense that let me shift to another chart to explain this. A higher time frame. That's the one here, yeah. Or Berlix, maybe. That would be enough. So yeah. That I've been looking at a target for the 5th at 200k. So here, if we are doing a 1, 2, you see the problem is that the wave 3 will have a target much higher in theory. The standard target for wave 3 being the 161.8, while in log scale in theory. So it brings us to 1 million USD. Does it sound realistic here? I'm not sure about it. Now, as we, according to that count, supposedly into wave 5 here, a macro wave 5 of the whole Bitcoin price history. It is possible that we are in a ending diagonal. If we are in an ending diagonal, well, there's again two things. But let's say we are in a wave 1, a 2, we could be doing a small wave 3 and a wave 4 that overlap wave 1 and a smaller wave 5 and going for an ending diagonal. Okay, we'll have contracting price action. Seems I cannot draw things clearly. Just an idea, obviously it's not a precise real prediction, but yeah, it will be possible. That will allow us to take the whole time high a bit more potentially and have still a deep retrace, and so it will make price action contracting into a way. As we are looking at maturing assets here, it will make sense that it lost a bit of volatility, which it doesn't seem yet, because we had a really still volatile rise and heavy retrace. But that's how it may stabilize by doing an ending diagonal that will give less rise, still deep retrace, but a bit less, and then lesser rise again. Also, as I'm talking as an ending diagonal, in theory we could also say that wave 4 here could overlap wave 1. Maybe we are doing an expanding diagonal, could still retrace a lot, and that will be more less contracting price action and more expanding price action. So it doesn't seem like the best path for an asset we would like to see become a bit less volatile if we want Bitcoin to be perceived as a more serious asset. But it's a possibility. Doing an expanding diagonal like this, it doesn't say where it will retrace. It can retrace to 9k only. It could retrace into 3k. If we were doing such a thing, you see how this become extremely volatile again, and that would mean after the 5th wave we will be looking at a really, really deep retrace, instead of as if we are doing some kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more contracting. We could expect a correction that is more stable. So yeah, that's the main ideas on the macro view. I just want to come back on something I'm just remembering here. Here I've been So showing this as an ABC and counting this as 5 waves and this as 5 waves. We have an alternative here. You may remember as well that this wave can be subdivided in ABCs. ABC here. That's a possibility we talked about all the time while we are up here. If we consider this as being an ABC, then it means we could consider this as being an ABC as well, as we are already reaching the maximum extension here for the fifth. We can take so this leg to this leg, and it gives us a bit more room. So here I'm in log. You know, on such a scale I will not especially looking at linear. You see how the one extension comes directly to 9K. So the field level could still make sense, but not in that count. So yeah, in log. And you see it give us a bit lower target. We could be in some kind of ABC here. And it could come a bit lower as well. It could allow us to get a bit lower on this move. And still be in potentially WXY, okay? That's the ID if we subdivide this in ABC. So instead of having a WXY that is subdivided in ABC, so 5 waves, 3, 5, we could be in a WXY, or just finishing the macro 3 here and be in WXY here. Knowing that in both cases, here WXY, the Y can be an ABC or a WXY of itself. So we'll be focused on this move, and then in the WXY we can subdivide this in ABC potentially. So again, we'll be focusing on that move. We see the target we have when one extension down to the 161.8 at 10K. So that worked for several macro counts. In this ID, well, it doesn't change that what we are looking at on the lower time frame, which is from this swing high. So from 222, think, from this swing high from the weekly here. So what I've been suggesting as a fifth wave, so I want to be repeating myself, but I want things to be as clear as possible. So what I've been talking about as a wave 5 here, it might be wave C in that occurrence, okay? A, B, C. If it is a wave C, well, this is the same thing. We're still looking at 5 waves. It just allows us to come a bit lower without reaching too much of the without reaching the maximal target we expect. Because then a target for this as a wave C will be lower than this as a wave 5. Okay? But the yellow count remain more or less the same. Just allow us to have this yellow 5 to come lower if needed. Knowing that in any case, at 14K, we could still be in a wave 4, which means we could still see a recovery, a strong recovery to new all-time high rather quickly. When I say rather quickly, it's still a few months, but not several years. But it could also be, still inside a longer bear market. But overall, we will be looking at a nice bounce after these 5 waves. So still be a nice, probably a nice long opportunity. And if it goes beyond 14k, let's see what the maximum target will be for such a 5. Let's say we retrace to the 382 here, and let's take the target in linear to see the extreme. Yeah, still above, not above, but below 14k. So around what is proposed as wave 1. Okay, I hope this is all clear. So to recap, we may have a potential finish correction here. We may have a lower low that comes slightly below, and we may come a lower to 14k, knowing that if we really breach 17k, the most bullish scenario become less likely, and we are increasing the probability of a longer bear market. But with still potential for a really nice bounce. So whatever happens, it's probable that in the next leg down, if we get one, as we will be able to count 5 waves, we don't know for sure where it will be for now, but this 5th wave of that yellow 5th will probably be a very good long opportunity, either for just a bounce, either for a all-time high. Okay, so that is done. Now I'm coming in a bit lower time frame here. We're still looking at the same the same wave 4 5 here, at a yellow one. Just zooming in a bit. And there's not much more not a lot more to say on this time frame, but yeah, anyway. So here I'm on a 30-minute chart. What we have on this rise from the bottom from last week look more like 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a bit small wave 4 that doesn't reach minimum extension we usually expect, but still a valid one. We have a flat for the wave 4 and a 5th. Now this seems to be 5 waves. Small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if this is 5 waves, it means it is one leg of the first leg of a move. Well, it cannot be a corrective move in 5 waves. But we are really close to invalidation right now, because if we go above that high, well, it means that this was corrective and it was not 5 waves. Okay. So yeah, for now we are close to it, but we did not invalidate it. That idea that we have one leg, this being corrective, and we are going for another leg. From there, well, 2 possibilities, because as we did reach the minimum target for wave 4, we could see this as the beginning of the 5th, right? Already. I kind of feel it will not be enough, this for wave 4. I feel that will go higher. Usually a wave 4 will change the market structure a bit, give some signs of strength. That's why I wanted to take that high, and yeah, most likely that one as well, at least, and potentially come up to 24k, right? So we'll see soon. Maybe it will already have happened when this video is uploaded and visible. So if we take that high, it means that we have a leg here, correction, and we are going for another leg up. Considering it will be a wave 4, we will be considering this as corrective. It's already pulled here. We have the 1-1 extension coming at 24k. See that, I mean, yeah, it's the extension we expect for a corrective move to reach ABC. Linear, log, debatable. If we do bridge that high, I will keep both on. For now, I made this on a log scale. Why? Just because it gives a bit more confluence with a 50% retrace here. So, yeah. And that's this, yeah. If we do not bridge that high and bridge that swing low at 17,700, well, we potentially be in a corrective and potentially be in A, B, C still. It will change the target, obviously, of the 1-1 extension. But a corrective wave C have a target between the 1-1 and the 161.8, so it could still come to 24k. It would just have more potential to stop just above the swing high, make a swing fair pattern at the 3-2. We'll have to some point let price section show us the path. We have a clear invalidation for this move being impulsive or corrective. It would be a validation that this is corrective if we do bridge high. Now, if this is corrective, we have an invalidation. Now, it doesn't mean we cannot be in a flat then, because it will be corrective. For now, my bias have been we don't bridge that high, and we do come back down. But if we do, then as this, I miscount this part, and this was corrective. So then we could be in A, B, C, or we could be in A, B, C. Then we'll be most likely looking at running, potentially expanding flat, which means we'll be in an A, B, C, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean we squeeze up right away. It's possible if really this was a B wave of this scale. But if we do just a swing fair pattern and come back into a range, then all of this could be the B wave of this first rise from our current low, okay? Connecting another rise. As well, even if this is wave A and this is complete wave B of this rise, again, it doesn't mean we'll squeeze. We could be in a subwave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doing an ending diagonal or doing something more extending if we are to reach higher levels. Well, now we know that 24,600 seems to be maximum extension, maximum level we would expect for this to remain corrective. In the case we do see explosion like this, well, it will start to look like a V-shaped reversal. It's not necessarily what I'm expecting here. I'm not saying it is impossible. That will be really strong. That will like make this low most likely the bottom of the macro wave 5 we talked about. It's really, yeah, this, let's keep this a bit wide, but let's say about 25k. If we were to claim $25,000 on a strong move up, then that becomes really, really strong, and we are most likely, I will shift my gun and say, okay, we are not gonna see an accumulation run down here, and we are most likely going to all-time high. Now, it doesn't mean we can just retrace and consolidate in that previous run still a bit. At least for at some point we expect a bit of correction, but it could go up a lot more quickly. So that's really a wide range of ideas, what to expect. Right now we have wide invalidation for account at our Tuesday high at 21,700. If this is breached, at some point we expect to reach at least the 382 at 23,000 about, up to 24,600 to be wide, to 25 we'll say. Okay, so that will really be our target if we reach this. Doesn't mean we have to I feel like I'm saying this 10 times, but I want to be clear as possible. Doesn't mean like longs breakout. It's very, very rarely a good idea to longer breakout. But if we breach this, I will be looking to long more on a retrace, that's for sure. And most likely a higher low than the 19,700 level. Because in that case we'll be either in a 1-2, either in a A, B, C. And when we are in a flat and we take the high of the origin of the proposed wave A, the origin of A, then more often than not it is a running flat that is playing. So a running flat is B wave going beyond the origin of the wave A, and wave C stopping before the end of wave A. But in theory, an expanded flat can come lower. In theory it can. But usually a B wave, I mean a flat like this, like B wave taking the origin of A, it's a sign of strength. So usually we make higher high. And Bitcoin do a lot more running flat than expanding flat. Okay, so yeah, that's I think most of it. I can zoom in a bit more into the lower time frame. How much? 40 minutes. I think maybe I've been a bit slow on this and repeating the same thing 10 times, but I think we are at a really crucial point here. So I made several count for that rise. It could be a WXY, it could be 5 waves. I'll not go inside that count for now. Doesn't really matter. Do I have the smaller count here? I have a lot of ones. Did a lot of trading this week. Lot of scenarios that didn't really play it out, or at least not fully. I don't have the sub count here. Did I? Yeah, that's one. Okay, let's move that here for now. Even hide it. That's how I counted the first move down. And this is the kind of move I'm not a fan of. We don't really have any significant retrace in that move down. The only retrace market structure change is this move, going for a lower low, breaking this previous low. So when I see such a thing, I tend to look at this as a wave 5 when we reach the 0.618 like this. So 0.618 extension of this move down projected from this swing high. And this is a target for wave 5 to me. For a wave, to see this as a corrective move and a wave as an ABC, what I want is to see us reach the 1-1 extension or the 90, because we saw that sometimes. I like a front run of the 1-1 extension. 0.618 is not a preferred target for wave C, but it's still a valid one. and we know it will be an ABC instead of being 5 waves down as soon as we take that high. Because even if we are in a flat, you know, A, B, C, the A wave of a flat should be is divided in an ABC, not 5 waves. While a zigzag ABC, the wave A is subdivided in 5 waves. Okay. So for me, for now, I'm still counting this as 5 waves, but I say it's not impossible. It is an ABC, the kind of one I don't like. I have to consider it. So that's why I've been looking to short the rise here. I've been looking for short here. I've been looking for short, I think here again, here again, here again, and here again. Knowing I might be wrong, I also looked for longs, right? I think where was Tuesday stream, or was it Thursday? So a lot of things here. So we had this okay, let's delete a bit of things here. Okay, let's keep that on just to explain a bit the through process. So first I was we were shorting this, looking for a move down to POC, down to the golden pocket. In fact, we had another move here, so it's most likely that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going for a pattern, always a good trade, especially when you see excess at the high on the order flow. So trap longs, short squeezed, positive delta with a candle that that closed below its open. You see finished auction, things like this. So I took that short. First one, I've been stopped out, the one that we took during the stream, but yeah, that was still a good short. And I didn't took so long at the POC because it was still weak. I took the long on the golden pocket, the 0.618 retrace of this move down. Why? So I took the short because I was expecting more move down, but at the same time I know I might be wrong, and we have 5 waves, so it's still a good idea to long corrective move. And if I take this move to this move, you see that we have an ABC potentially reaching the 1-1 extension, golden pocket. I mean, take profit on the short and go long. Go long. Yeah, I mean, the same thing on the order flow. You have clear absorption here all the way along. You got 3 stab. That's something you often get. 3 stab at least. Like, I mean, in both sides. You got excess, squeeze shorts and trap long, retrace. You got another second stab into this high and a third stab into this high. And the same thing on pretty all time frame. 1 low, excess, a stab into it, and a third stab. Or second stab. So yeah, took longs here. Short gets stopped, take another short. Always a bit of take profit, especially when you can you successfully grab a short close to the high. And then you get a really nice reward ratio. So if you take, even if you take only 25% on a 5 or 6 hair or even more trade, you still go with profit even if your short gets stopped, which did here. And each time the same thing. Here we had also potential for an ABC. Still looking at the downside, was still short. I think I short this. Because we have an ABC reaching 1-1 extension. Again, really simple trade, run 1 extension, coming into the 50%, coming into a high volume node, I believe. We don't see it here, but if I remember correctly, the high volume node was a bit higher. Anyway, we have a good confluence. There is a nice bounce. So at this point, this can be an ABC or a 1, 2 and a sub 1, 2. So invalidation above that high for the bearish scenario. Short again, bit of take profit as we make a higher low, and we have the potential for this to be an ABC. I took the long on the retest here. Take profit along the ride. Again, swing fire pattern into the previous high with excess at the high, a short, take profit, bit of take profit, and a long again in a higher high at seeing absorption. So for now, I'm still shorting every highs and still longing every lows, taking profit along the way on both sides, and still a bit more exposed to the short side than the long overall. I don't have a clear count at all for this rise, either as a bullish or bearish one, in fact. If it is bearish, could be in a W, X, Y, X, Z, or could be in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but then we are overlapping again, so maybe I just don't know. This price action, especially this last part, is becoming extremely uncountable on low time frame. I don't have clear count. We are reaching the 1-1 extension to the tick here, exactly to the tick, to the dollars, to the cents even. So it is not really an ending diagonal. Maybe it is still, because diagonal contracting wave 3 should be smaller than wave 1. Here they are exactly the same length. So it looks more like an ABC, but it doesn't make sense with the rest. But if we have an A, B, C, but we didn't even reach low enough. So whatever it is, yeah. For now, I got stop for most of my longs below that swing low, because if we do lose that swing low, that will be a significant market structure change. It could still bounce significantly, but it will increase greatly the probability of the move to continue down and keep into my higher degree high D that we are into an A, B, C. If we do take that high, I will be out of my shorts, and then I will see where we retrace. Do we squeeze, make a giga pump, or do we swing faro pattern hit, consolidate, or flush all the way back down to here? Until there is a market structure change here, there's something that is not finished, or that is potentially not finished. So if we do a swing faro pattern and bridge that, okay, I know I have something finished here. Now I can come back on it, trying to find it, what it is. Most likely it could be still corrective or impulsive, but at least I will have two clear paths, and I will try to update on this. If it is corrective, we may stay in A, B, C. So I will be looking at 5 waves and to buy the C. Maybe here. We'll look at the fib extension. I will take the fib here, and if we are in a some kind of running flat, we could be looking at the 0.618. see, if we do a swing fair pattern like this, just taking the high slightly and retrace, you see we have a confluence of the 0.618 extension coming to the POC of the range, and we have a good candidate for a flat. If we do continue to gigapump, yes, I'll recount it. So I hope all of this is clear. Don't hesitate if you have a question or give your opinion into the comment, what you think is going to happen. If you think if you would like me to talk about other things, is it fine like this? I appreciate all the comments. I had quite a lot of ones recently, and so really appreciate all your nice comments. And even if you don't like and you have a constructive criticism, it's also welcome, obviously. And don't forget to subscribe and to like if you like the video. Now I have something for this. Subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. This is most of what I wanted to talk. I can take a quick look maybe at some of the data. We have Bitfinex long still going up. Short, there's nothing really relevant. It's a few thousand here. It's not the same scale at all here between the two, you know. Here we have a rise of 2 or 3 or 4,000. Here we have tens of thousands of bitcoins. For now, Bitfinex wealth is still bullish, it seems. Most likely, I just want to emphasize this. You see we have a rise of long that is starting from January 21. And here we have a swing low because here there's take profit on that rise, obviously, most likely. But we have a rise of long almost without retrace from the all-time high. And we have an increase of 86,000 Bitcoin, so several billions dollars worth of Bitcoin. I guess I'm not sure now that we are 20k, but yeah. More than a billion, most likely. Now, so this position, if it is the same person, especially from this swing high when it started to increase really heavily, the average buy is underwater. Average entry price is probably somewhere into the 30. So we could be afraid that it is going to capitulate. It is a possibility that someone going to keep pushing price down until this person capitulate. Too much margin call. It's also most likely that this position is edged and there is a big short position that have been built maybe even during all that rise. And so there is an edge on that big long. So if there is an edge on that big long, not necessarily on the same exchange, it can be on derivative, not necessarily on spot. In fact, it is not on spot because we don't see so much short on spot. But if he had so much short, as much as short position open on another exchange, it means that when it's gonna close his shorts, it's gonna be a buy, you know. So for me, that remain rather bullish. So we can expect maybe that, at some point, maybe somebody gonna close a big short and it's gonna help either breakout of a little range we may build lower, or maybe we'll use it to put even more buy pressure if we come back to the 30k, and if we close like tens and tens of thousands of Bitcoin short, it's gonna be tens and tens of thousands of buys. That could help price to squeeze up more. just an idea here. GBTC Grayscale is still trading at a heavy discount, about 30% down. So this is still quite bearish sign overall. There is volume that suggests capitulation here, something that we see usually on a turning point. So we'll see if it can recover. We'll keep an eye on this. If we start to see GBTC rise more, that will be a really nice sign. Knowing that there is soon an answer from the SEC or whatever American governmental organization that's gonna give the green light or not on the spot ETF for Grayscale. That is this month, I think, or next month. Got to check this, verify. But if there is a Bitcoin spot ETF that is accepted, that could be a nice bullish catalyst here. And it will most likely turn the GBTC discount back to a premium or neutral at least. Bitfinex magic spread. Overall, that's also why I was mainly bearish. I mean, during all that move here, during all that period, we had negative premium with a spike of volume, often at the high. I was selling starting even here, after the, after what I explained last week during the video. There was heavy selling here that pushed price down to a pocket of liquidity where they started to buy more heavily and most likely build a position on derivative exchanges. Something I also explained during a little thread on Twitter. Go check and subscribe my Twitter if you didn't yet. At the French Ball, it's in the description. And so yeah, there was mostly selling here. This is an anomaly because of exchange being down. Exchanges, we have a bit of buy here. So this, again, yeah, it's not clear. For me, overall, it seems that this is mostly bearish and I see this. And I want the price to come lower. Now you see a bit of buys here with little volume, but a bit of volume. This happened again, maybe this reversed, in a smaller scale, obviously. A lot less volume and a lot less spread on the indicator. But just help push price into the short stops and into the FOMO zone to build a short position on another exchange. Something that we can maybe see on the aggregated here. We have nearly a $250 million of position open on USDT and yes, for 45 million on perpetual contracts. I deactivated the contract with the quarterly and the weekly, etc. because I will explain this another time. Overall, we have almost bearish div here. Where is the high here? We have a slight bearish div on contract. We have bearish div on USDT and spot, but you know that spot CVD might be a leading indicator. We have stabilized market. We're going from negative to premium funding, slightly neutral, in fact, still below neutral. So overall, mostly oversold conditions still. So it can be bullish, and this last rise could be like somebody going for the short squeeze and buying relentlessly until the short give up and just close or get stopped or or liquidate, and this will fuel a larger move up. There is on the on-chain data, you can see that the big wells that I've been looking at, where are they? The 1,000, 10,000 seems to have been reducing significantly their holding in this last week. So also again, more bearish sign. Price action seems really bullish. It needs guts to be able to hold into a big short here each time. Each time I short, to be clear, each time I take a short here, I take profit rather quickly. 2 or 3 take profit on the way down. I short heavily when there's a sign. Take profit quickly to protect, to be protective and pay for the stop, and take profit when I go wrong, in fact, because it is sensible. I make real profit each time that way. That way, being wrong and shorting each time, well, I'm not wrong because I always short the top. But overall, the higher time frame ID I have, let's say we continue down, is wrong, but I still make profit with this wrong ID. And maybe this ID will be right eventually. We'll see soon, I guess. Well, most likely here today or tomorrow. So yeah, I have also a small other thing I want to talk about really quickly. But you know, I like to keep an eye on simple indicators like RSI on moving average. Right now, what do we have? We have price that claimed the 200 1-hour moving average. I've been rejecting, so it's a good short when you are at it. Now we claimed it and closed above. That might be why we have an increased open interest, because there is algo or people trading along this. And maybe price have been pushed just above this moving average to make a deviation above it, build a big short position into retail and algorithm FOMO. You can say that algorithm can FOMO. And maybe we come back down. Or maybe it is a true claim and we're going to see a significant move up. On the 1 hour again, before I shift to the 4, you see there is bigger trend on the 1 hour RSI. No trend, in fact. Well, we can keep an eye on this kind of uptrend here, which if we lose this, it could be an early sign that we are really going to break down. Now, if we come back to the 200 exponential 1 hour moving average, and we go below this trend, it could be like a sign that we are continuing down. But what is really weird is that we really, it's really not trending up. Rarely such price action. We have 2 times overbought MFI here and here. That's really when we had a change of character, when we climbed that high. The first shot I took after this year. Anyway, yeah, it's not going to overbought. It is staying sideways. So this is kind of weird. So for me, it say that yes, something is building for an explosion. Either an explosion down, either an explosion up. I cannot feel like this right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we just stay sideways because this is still a most likely scenario if we do claim that high locally. But then, yeah, explosion. So it will still bring a bit more volatility that what we got during these past few days. And going to the 4 hour, that will be the next time I will really be looking at a short if we do bridge that high. swing short. That's when we will be reaching overbought on the 4-hour RSI. But usually it's a really good short opportunity, right? We can go prior to this. And the same thing we claimed here. The 50, well, the 54 hour is a 200 1 hour. It's the same moving average, more or less, because it pays on closed. Next we have the 100, 22,900. So about our highs, knowing that moving average, it's a simple indicator, so it's not necessarily as precise. It could go do the swing failure pattern and come back down, or if we do continue down, this could start lower and the 200 could come lower. But yeah, I will be looking at this moving average 200, 100 exponential simple on the 4-hour for potential indication. But I will keep you up to date on this if it happens on the RSI. Now we have we really have potential for both sides. I think we're close to get a bit more volatility. This is, somebody is building something here. Maybe two different sides are building heavily, and one side gonna win at some point. I'm not sure which side is building what here. Looking at this and how it seems bullish, we could consider this as FOMO from retail, and knowing that Ethereum did break out could be a trap. So that's why I'm not giving up on the idea we come back down, but it feels like it wants to squeeze up or squeeze up. Okay, so that's what it. 1 hour long video, and I covered everything I wanted, I think. Again, thanks for watching till the end. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment. Don't forget, the most important thing in trading is risk management. So trade safe and see you soon, everybody. Bye.